Before we get into it, I do want to say that I really knew nothing about Omid Scobie myself. Everything I knew about him, I had taken from other people's opinion of him. Tom Bauer thinks very little of him, and so does everybody else. Like, everybody just knows that he's just this sort of secretary for Harry and Meghan and basically like pushes their story and agenda. He would say otherwise. But I decided, I was like, okay, let me go and hear what this man has to say about himself. Like, how does he communicate? Is he an honest, forthright person? Is this really what he believes? Or is he just the sort of person that everything comes out of their mouth as a spin? He is the latter. He cannot be expected to tell the truth. And I saw this within 5 minutes of an interview. So when this book came out, I think it was around Christmas time of last year, I saw him on some program. It wasn't Good Morning Britain, or maybe it was. I don't know. I don't keep track. But it was a morning show. And he's sitting there on the couch. And, just as a side note, this man has had a completely different face slapped onto his body. All right? I don't care what that man says. He's tried to say, I never had any plastic surgery. I just age really well. It must just be my genetics. I have had a little Botox here or there, but nothing crazy. My man, you is a liar. He's like the biggest liar ever. The face you're about to see is as one of an AI robot. I don't know if it's because we're more used to seeing women with Botox, so maybe we've become numb to what that actually looks like the loss of expression in the eyes. So maybe it's just that I'm more used to that in women, but I have never seen somebody who had so much Botox in their face that nothing but their mouth could move. His eyes don't even seem to be able to blink without him really having to concentrate on, now I am blinking my eyes. It's crazy. I mean, his face looks transplanted onto him. It is not the face of a human being. He most certainly has had plastic surgery, okay? Because this is what he looked like originally, okay? This is back when he used to work for this magazine called Heat. Some kind of publication called Heat. I know nothing of it. And now, this is what he looks like now. Now, do not tell me that person has not had some plastic surgery. And ain't no Botox did that, okay? Does Botox give you a new jaw? All right, so already he's a liar. The other thing he's lied about is his own age, okay? He has tried to pass himself off as 6 years younger for years. Finally, recently, he came out and was like, okay, you guys, sorry, I guess it was naive and stupid of me to be able to lie to you guys that I was, a little younger, but I didn't think anybody would ever find out or care. Okay, but see, that's the way he does all his journalism. I didn't think anybody would find out or care. Okay, well, we do care, and we are finding out. So, in this interview that I watched of him, he's sitting there on the couch looking like a deer in the headlights, may I say. Now, I don't know if that's the Botox or if that's because he knows he's a liar and he's about to get caught, because the host of this, the woman is like way less pointed in her questions to him. But the male host is not here to have any of this. And right out the gate, we get some real lies from him. Like, he is such a spin machine, but he's not good at it. And that's the other problem. Many journalists are out here lying to us day and night, but this guy is telling us lies, and it's very evident that he is, because he's so bad at it. Oh, the other thing too is, another side note. He continually refers to Catherine as Kate, which I know that is what people called her before she was married to William. And even for a long time, and as Americans too, I think that we have a tendency to refer to her as Kate. That's what we're used to calling her. And I've been corrected about it many times. So I now say Catherine, because apparently it's more respectful of her station in life. And I'm willing to do that. And I really like her. So I'll do anything. But he continually refers to her as Kate, which feels purposely disrespectful. I don't know if he's trying to show that he's close enough to her to call her by her nickname, or if he just doesn't care enough to correct himself. I feel like that's more the thing. I don't know that he's going out of his way to be disrespectful, although I wouldn't be surprised if he was, because he is so disdainful of the upper echelons of the royal family. But they're talking about Catherine, and he says, I never said anything mean about her, and I just can't believe that people are trying to say that I said something mean about her in my book Endgame. And the host is like, actually you did though, because you said that she was a Stepford wife. That's insulting. And Omid Scobie's like, no. I did not. I said she was Stepford wife like. Stepford wife like is not the same thing. And, what I really meant was that she's very regal. But so like for the rest of the world doesn't act like that. So they might misinterpret it as being a Stepford wife-ish. And that's what I meant. Well, that's not what you said. and calling someone a Stepford wife and then trying to spin it and be like, that's a positive. Nobody reads it that way. So already I'm like, oh, this guy's a liar. Everything that's coming out of his mouth is not a true statement. His whole face is not a true statement. And now his mouth is also lying. The one part of his body he can get to move. And it goes on. So he says, I don't even have anything to do with Harry and Meghan. We're not like good friends or anything. I don't even know them. I've never sat with them and had a conversation with them. It's just that when I see racism, I have to stand up about it. I care about social justice, And he says, when I saw the racism of the monarchy, I had to do something about it. And when I saw the way the institution was treating Meghan, I had to stand up for that. So people can misinterpret it and say that I have some kind of special relationship with them. I don't. But I'm not going to let racism be a part of the conversation and then everyone glosses over it. Okay. Not but 2 minutes later in the interview, he says, I don't even talk about racism. This book doesn't even say that. I talk about unconscious bias, but I would never use the R word. I don't talk about racism. You literally just did. You literally just told us that you have made your mark on this story because you were willing to stand up and talk about racism. Yet 2 minutes into the interview, you can't even remember that you said that. Now you're like, I don't know why people always connect me to that. I don't even talk about racism. I talk about unconscious bias. You literally just did. So, he can't even keep his stories straight. So with that in mind, we're going to open up Endgame and we're going to read the prologue. And like I've said, I almost didn't do the prologue because I thought to myself, who even cares? Let's not prolong this fool's message. But the prologue is so juicy and so full of stupidity that it cannot be missed. And then, chapter 1 is mostly just him setting the stage of how everything's going to fall apart now because the queen has died and she was the only thing holding this together. Well, now that she's gone, what do we have left? Right? So we're not going to talk about that chapter as much in detail, just simply because he didn't have a lot to say that was all that new. He likes to interject himself into the story of the queen's death in a really annoying way. So we'll talk about that. But basically, he's just setting the stage in chapter 1 for now what. But this prologue is where we're going to park and sit for a while because it's insane. It's insane that he thinks that he has anything to say about anything because he's just such a, I wouldn't say a poor writer necessarily. He's so devoid of any original ideas that it's shocking to me that he thought this book was going to be the definitive book on the matter. Because he is, like I said earlier, just regurgitating such old ideas, such old tropes. The evil villain husband who came down on his poor innocent wife, Diana. It's that level of journalism that we're getting. So you guys sit back because this book is a hot mess.